Hey, there's no shame in trying things that people ain't never tried before.
Rockstar just dropped GTA Online's gun running update, and as much cool shit as it added, I'll admit I'm not very excited. But why? Why am I not excited about a bunch of fun new stuff in my favorite game? Well, this is a question that's been mounting with each subsequent GTA Online DLC release. I could hit the big points explaining why it's stale, talking about the map being 4 years old, GTA itself being 4 years old. I could talk about the moment-to-moment gameplay being stale, even after all this time and all these updates. I could talk about the divisive, free-to-play-esque business model, and how it arguably negatively impacts the game. Or I could talk about the shitty community. But all those complaints aside, there is still a lot of stuff in GTA Online. There are many activities, there's always something to do. So why am I not excited? Well, GTA Online mirrors real life, in that the older you become, the more responsibilities you gain. And with those responsibilities comes stress. There are cobwebs of stress around wealthy or experienced players. There's a ton of fun to be had in GTA Online for low-level, broke players. That's exactly what I was for the first 2 years, low-leveled and broke, and I was having the time of my life. I bullshitted with friends, I bought progressively better apartments, I upgraded my car, I rode my bike in the mountains, I spent evenings in Paleto Bay listening to Night Moves and other relaxing songs. But once you've broken the map in, learned everything, seen everything, done everything, and lost your friends who you bullshitted with, you need more. And that's what those DLCs offer. But to get the fun, new, exciting gameplay enhancers, you need money. And you need a lot of it. Especially when most of this stuff costs $20 per item, if you look at it. This is real money. But it does follow a free-to-play-esque business model, so you can get all of this stuff without real money, and you can, and when I say you can, I mean you can rake in a lot of money. But GTA is nothing if not a large, omnipotent time clock. Sinister and insidious. Stressful. You're not just investing your time by working to gain, like in a normal free-to-play game. You're also working and investing your time to pay, because in GTA Online there are many fees. Now, this starts very small and is very easily remedied for free, but as you move up, as you start buying and selling higher priced items, you lose that free remedy. You lose your free get out of jail free card. That remedy becomes microtransactions. Or it becomes continuous work, number crunching, statistics, to the point where the game is not fun anymore. And that's what I want to talk about. Now get your dick boy coats on, because I'm going to show you how this crunch progresses from light thrift to existential dread and madhouse work. So let's assume you're starting out. You're a relatively low-level player without a whole lot of money, and you want to find work. You want to get something to do, get some cash in pocket, baby. Well, this is a map of gang attacks, one of the earlier free mode money-making activities you can do by yourself without getting dicked by GTA Online's missions. These can take anywhere from 4 to 20 minutes depending on which one you choose. These pay between 1,000 and 2,000 per site, but most pay 1,000. When tackling these, the first thing you need to consider is your CTK, or cost to kill. Every action in GTA is an expenditure and must be accounted for. But they start small. They start very small, so it's not that big of a deal. Consider, Shotgun shells cost $1 per shell and can put an enemy down with one shot at close range. Assault rifle rounds cost $3 per bullet and could take between 2 if you shoot him in the head and 30 if you shoot him in the body rounds per person per kill. So that's a difference of $1 per kill with extra work granted, or 90 with less work and less attention. Now you're gonna go with the assault rifle because that's easier to use, and the enemies you're facing will be far away, invariably. So let's be very generous here and create an example. Let's assume you're fighting 15 enemies, though many gang attacks have 20, and let's assume it takes 10 shots to kill each of them. So you've shot 150 rounds. 150 times 3 is $450. Now, we will not be generous with the payout, because most gang attacks are going to have $1,000. So you have $450 subtracted from your $1,000. That is $550 profit if nothing goes wrong. But bear in mind, if you die, you lose $500 and all the bullets in your clip. So if you die once, and assuming you're alone, you probably will, and if you aren't alone, then you won't be getting $1,000 profit. But if you die once, all of this has been for nothing. But again, let's assume nothing goes wrong. You've got your profit, everything's great. You own a house. If you own a house, that means you're paying maintenance. If you own a house, that means you own a garage and a mechanic. That means you're paying mechanic fees. Again, let's be generous, say you only have one house, so you're paying $150 total. Every 45 minutes, a GTA Online day passes, and you pay your taxes, you pay your fees. So every 45 minutes, that $150 is getting subtracted from your account. Now let's assume that gang attack took you about 10 minutes to complete. Now, assuming nothing goes wrong, you aren't dying at all. You're still making very small profits for a lot of work, but realistically, you're going to be dying a lot. To your enemies, to other players, you're going to be losing a lot of ammunition from missed shots, and when you die, like I said, you lose that ammo. And that means you're losing money. And don't even get me started about car insurance. If your car blows up, you gotta pay car insurance, of course. So you're in this battle to pay your fees and to make money so you can buy new stuff and have fun. So overall, in about an hour, you've saved up $2,000 if nothing has gone wrong. The cheapest garage costs $24,000. The newest businesses cost upwards of between $1 million and $4 million. Every new toy, every new car, every new sports car, every new piece of military equipment, every new doodad, every new gadget for your new businesses costs around $1 million or $2 million. Everything is super expensive. The cheapest thing you could buy is a motorcycle club. Those cost around $240,000. So let's assume you grind your ass off and buy one. But before we move on, before we get there, I mentioned an easy, free remedy to this grind early on. This is the Gallivanter Baller, and it's your best friend starting out. Selling one nets you $9,000, and you can sell one every 45 minutes. That's actually how I made a lot of my money starting out. Now, selling one of these will pay for your ammo, it'll pay for your deaths, it'll pay for your fees, especially if you're selling them once every day. So for low-level, broke motherfuckers like me, this is a get-out-of-jail-free card. This takes you out of the grind, the fight. And it's wonderful. But $9,000 is piss in the ocean when you get into the higher level businesses and money-making opportunities GTA Online has to offer, which we are getting into now, and where the web starts getting absolutely crazy, my guy, and it blows my mind and makes me freak out. So back to the biker club. Let's assume you grinded Gallivanters or gang attacks and bought one. Well, having access to a biker club gives you access to a biker board, which gives you a selection of 3 easy, quick payment missions that aren't particularly hard and give you about $17,000 a pop. They're a great way to grind and buy the businesses the biker club also gives you access to. Now, the investment for these businesses is very steep, between $200,000 and a few million, depending on which ones you buy and where you buy them. Upgrading them is also very expensive, but let's assume you've bought all of the businesses and upgraded all of them. The businesses are different, but they function exactly the same. They eat resources and produce supplies. Now, to reach a full bar of supplies, it takes a few in-game days, and that means a few rounds of resources, which you can either steal for free, but it takes work, you have to go and do it manually, or resources you can buy, which will neuter your profits but save you from doing any work. Now, you're losing either way here, because if you're working manually, you're going across the map, doing a bunch of stuff, jumping through a lot of hoops to get these supplies, and you risk getting fucked by other players, and losing everything, your entire time investment, and your money investment. Your time is valuable here, especially with the biker missions. And if you're buying the resources, like I said, it's neutering your profits. But either way, everything goes right. A few in-game days pass, and now you have 5 full supply bars. That means you have 5 deliveries to make. Driving these supplies point to point across the map and risking losing everything if you get into a bad fight with another player. And it's worth mentioning, while you can steal resources somewhat reliably by yourself, delivering supplies, especially if your supply bar is full, usually requires 3 other players. So it's all very risky, and you're either losing money if you bought the resources, or your time, a lot of your time, if you stole the resources. So let's be generous here and assume everything went okay, and your payout is $2 million. Now, what did that $2 million cost you? Well, assuming you stole all of the resources to maximize your money payout at the end, which means you were constantly working, restocking your resources at each of your businesses. Constantly, non-stop, the entire time. So it takes a few days and a few resupplies to fill the supply bar, minus the dead, wasted time between resupplies that businesses did not have resources because you can't be everywhere at once and they munch resources like crazy. And minus the dead time the supplies were just sitting there waiting to be delivered. And again, let's assume nothing went wrong. You didn't die during your resupplies, and you didn't lose any product during your deliveries. And again, 5 deliveries. They take a long time, you're driving all over the place. So you probably have about 12 hours invested in this $2 million overall, doing everything manually. And that's assuming you have friends who are helping you and making everything go perfectly. Everything goes off without a hitch. 12 hours for $2 million. Well, $1.2 million equals $20 real money. So let's assume you're just working a minimum wage job, getting $8 an hour. Well, for 5 hours of work at your job, you could have 12 hours of work on GTA. More than the 12 hours actually, because you'd have $4.4 million if you spent $40 of real money instead of 12 hours in GTA. And you might be thinking, oh, Skimmerlit, well that's 5 hours at work and 12 hours playing a fun game. Well, that's where you're that is where you're wrong. It's not 12 hours playing a fun game. It's 12 hours doing stressful work non-stop, because every 45 minutes GTA is deducting $30,000 from your account because you're operating all the businesses. So if you stop at all, you start falling into a hole and risk losing stuff. Risk losing your money, risk everything you've worked for. And further, once you have your profit, once you have your payout, you still can't stop, because that $30,000 is going to keep on ticking regardless. It makes spending scary because you just worked so hard for this, It makes you not want to stop working because that $30,000 is going to keep on slowly but surely eating into your profits, and that means you aren't ever having any fun. You aren't ever stopping to just relax and smell the roses and enjoy what you've bought, because you know at the end of that 12 hours, if you haven't performed everything perfectly, with all of your friends and yourself working on point, selling everything without a hitch, you will be in the hole $480,000. That is 1/4 of your perfect payout and a large chunk if you don't have anything. So do you see what I'm saying? There is room to make a lot of money to buy all of the fun new goodies, but you will never have time to enjoy the goodies. Because if you ever stop, everything falls apart.
But wait! There's more!
Did I forget to mention that there's an entire CEO system that works much like the biker system, in which you invest a lot of time and money to get even more money and goodies you can't enjoy at the risk of losing huge amounts of time and money you'd previously saved?
But wait!
Did I also forget to mention Rockstar just added another one in the gun running update? This one will run you $9,500 every 45 minutes to run the operation, $1 million to buy the bunker at least, and another $1 million to buy the MOC, plus $750,000 to outfit the MOC with a weapons workshop so you can, customize your guns in the gun running update because your bunker doesn't come with a weapons workshop. And then, even further, you can't just be a gun runner. You must be a CEO or a biker company owner to become a gun runner. So you can't just have one web if you want to be a gun runner. You have to have at least two. At least two big drains on your income. 2 high-intensity, high-saturation jobs, which will require more than one person. You can't do them alone. So, all that said, do you see why I'm not so hyped? As neat as this constant stream of new content is, I will either never be able to afford them, or never have the time to enjoy them. Which is unfortunate because GTA 5, GTA Online, in its infancy, was all about the world. About the fun, about the adventure, the exploration. Seeing how high in the air you could get bunny hopping off the hoods of oncoming cars. Trying to take a boat on land from one side of the map to the other. Ramping coops into a military base to steal jets. Earning enough money on the side to sustain your adventures and buy incrementally better gear, clothes, vehicles, housing. It was a mixture of creativity and mischief with vanity layered on top, often driving the mischief. Dressing up as a wedgie-enabled bicyclist and going on a grand tour of Los Santos, or getting into your right-wing death squad gear and hunting down degenerates. But now the game is all about investment, time or money. Spending both hand over fist for goodies that you hope will revive yesterday's fun. But yesterday has passed, and that fun is dead. So not to leave this on a sour note, because GTA is still fun, I still play it, there's still a lot of fun to be had here. Remember, my guys, enjoy every sandwich. Before you get caught up in that rat race, in GTA or in real life, looking for new goodies to make everything fun again, chasing the good old days, consider what you're really doing here. Consider what you're chasing and consider what you're sacrificing in the process. And ask yourself if it's worth it. Sometimes it might be, but more often than not, I'll wager, you can get what you really want, joy and fun and contentedness, without all that bullshit. And then you can focus and grow as a person and help people instead of getting stuck in that race for nothing. Just some food for thought, baby boy. I've spent the last couple nights on GTA, and it is as sobering now as it was when I realized last year how much of an awful time sink it was and a cancer on my productivity. And the gun running update presented the perfect opportunity to examine it, analyze it, and bring it to light for all my boys. Because you know I just fucking love my boys in a completely straight brotherly way. But yeah, everybody, that about wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because that helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit more than weekly. And comment your thoughts. What do you think of GTA or other time sync type games? Are you playing any right now? Do you know of any ones that you have played and sank a lot of time into? Dare I say wasted time? Looking at you, Warframe. Spent a lot of money and time on you, you money-grubbing son of a gun. But again, thanks for watching, because we have... God, Jesus, we just have a lot of fun on this channel. It's gonna give me an aneurysm if we keep on having this much fun. We really gotta tone it back, guys. We can't be having this much fun every time I upload. It's a little ridiculous. That said, I look forward to having you in the future.